Ну что, привет всем, кто забрал на мой канал. С вами Fingolt и продолжаем проходить вампира. Эй, я ж тебя нажал. Вампур. Причины и следствия уже глава у нас. Извиняюсь. Так, надо. Мы там делали квесты, проверить надо будет. Тут здоровое состояние. И я прокачался до 14 уровня. Хорошо. Хорошо. Опять я на карте отметку где-то оставил. О, события. Надо сходить. Головная боль. Я помню тебя. Пойдем сразу доложим, наверное, что я тут хожу. Письмо от Ракеша Чанаты. Пембургская больница 4 августа. Дорогой доктор Свонси, я готов управлять временным моргом, как только он откроется. Как я уже сказал, на фронте я был врачом и буду рад снова послужить моей стране. Я знаю, что врач для живых и для мертвых это не одно и то же, но мне кажется, что забота об усопших это важно. Будьте уверены, я приложу все силы для того, чтобы исполнить свои обязанности. Относительно моей квалификации, мне жаль, что я ничем не могу подкрепить свои слова. Я клянусь вам, в полку меня сделали врачом, и на фронте я спас жизни многих людей. Если моего слова недостаточно, можете связаться с военной администрацией. Там подтвердят наличие у меня опыта и навыков. И задействует то, что на войне я получил все необходимые для врача знания, даже если и никогда не изучал медицину. Искренне ваш, Ракеш Чанада, бывший врач. Вот так, да? Больше вроде ничего нового не появилось, да? Микрофон. Извиняюсь, что его тут... Что-то он...
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
Владик, привет.
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, The whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
Да, это, мне кажется, не очень это опасно, ну, вот так. Мальчики, ну, тоже неплохо. Это за подписку, типа, я так понимаю, типа, временная подписка, наверное.
I admit it did occur to me. Blood seems to be the common factor in all of this.
I totally agree. We're in uncharted territory here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but imagine the possibilities.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
Сестра, да? Которую мы же ее убили. Ну что, это тоже круто. Я считаю. Я бы дал подписки, но у меня за подписки ничего нету. И у меня подписки кончились. Я в свое время раздавал. Это на моем канале особо-то и ничего не давало.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear. It's locked, all right.
Good evening.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
Да, 14 тысяч немало.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir, I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
О, поздравляю тебя. Неплохо.
Please show me.
Of course.
Но у него лекарств для
Never
лекарств.
ceases to amaze me how you
Все для лекарств. Так, опа, доктор Свонси, доступен новый диалог. Сейчас мы к нему вернемся. Доктор Свонси. Ну, карта не такая уж большая, вот это мне тоже нравится, что карта небольшая. А у меня к делу-то пока что, ну вот, подустал только. Вот. Так, все хорошо, друзья, приехали вот, погуляли с ними. Завтра еще погуляем. Субботу или воскресенье, ну по-любому с ним по Геншину проведу. Там накрутки-то упали эти праймы, надо покрутить.
I need to talk to you, Edgar.
Please do so.
Do you know anything about the vampire hunters in the East End?
Without a doubt, it's the Guard of Priwen. Zealots to the last man.
Спасибо большое. Меня, кстати, нормально слышно? Не пойму, что-то или эквалайзер лагает, или как-то... Не знаю, что-то я вот микрофон верчу.
Where do they come from?
Once they shared the Brotherhood's ideology on non-intervention, but they concluded vampires were a scourge.
Что-то птичка дракона я так и не помню, не увидел, может, я где-то смотрел.
They're definitely well organized and equipped.
They're extremely dangerous and not to be trifled with. To them, you're a feral beast, and I, your accomplice.
So you manage a hospital financed by a vampire?
Yes, Pembroke was founded by Lady Ashbury. She's also our largest donor.
A convenient yet expensive way to have a fresh supply of blood on hand, day and night, don't you think?
All vampires drink blood by nature. Me, I praise the lady's exemplary moral fiber.
Да, проверял. Я что-то не знаю.
If I may inquire, how did you meet her?
Well, Jonathan, she sought me out and offered me the position. It's been a very profitable partnership for both parties.
Nurse Crane will not be returning to Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, really? Did something happen? She seems such a very capable woman.
Ну, скажем правду, будем честными, я думаю. Ну, ладно, привет. Вы про что? Вы мне поясните уже, ребят, я запутался. Я уже не понимаю.
She was blackmailing Lady Ashbury. Thought she was murdering patients as some sick upper-class game.
Nurse Crane was playing a dangerous game. She's lucky Lady Ashbury abhors violence.
We'll talk later.
Так, мне в Уайтчепел по-хорошему еще сходить. И в доки, и в порт. Наверное, получил. Ну что это? Просто поясните, пожалуйста, уже мне. Что ж я получил и забыл.
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Бед. Надо будет перепроверить инвентарь тогда. Ну, после стрима зайду гляну. А, вот он ты. У стены. Я тебя искал.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
О,
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins is thinking of leaving the hospital?
That's not a surprise. We've talked about it already.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be right. We should run away while we can. Question is, where can we go? Where is it safe?
I'd like to see...
Wise choice.
ничего особенного. Так, я правда в доке хочу в порт сходить, там поизучать, так сказать.
Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe, for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers and you helped us anyway. Can't thank you enough, sir.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
It started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Что я понимаю, ты даже не представляешь, что я понимаю.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Ничего не заходил.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
Давайте, правда, что их
Goodbye.
на улице стоят, мокнут. Кажется, так будет правильней.
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then if you're so interested in my case.
Да, надо посмотреть, что ж там падает, а? А, закрутки. Кей я выпил. О, круто, поздравляю. Все, догадался. Пробовать.
When I rescued you, you expressed joy at seeing the sky again. So I'm inclined to believe you were trapped or buried somehow. Maybe during a shelling.
Jeez, you're good, Doc. You're really good.
Go on, please. Tell me more about it.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days without ever knowing if we'd be found.
Да, и правда жутко.
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me wrong.
I will see. Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in that tunnel with Newton.
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. The terror, the shameful thoughts. Lord have mercy.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me about them.
At some point, I don't remember which day, but when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end, I thought about...
Say it, Mr. Thatcher. If you ever want to heal, you have to say it.
I thought about what I could do to survive, just for a few more days. I thought about killing you, killing and eating him. The man I fucking love.
What you endured was terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Внезапно. У нас тут еще очередная парочка.
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital, but I can't stand being closed in. It makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctors said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again, by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Вот упертая.
Goodbye.
Ну да, будет так, что я скажу.
Hello
Прикольно.
again, Mr. Blood.
Good evening, Doctor.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other. But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know, never thought I'd love a man.
Ну и развлекайтесь.
Enjoy your love. And enjoy life as long as you can, Mr. Blight. Don't let anyone tell you who you should love or how you should love them.
I appreciate your kind words, sir. But it ain't that easy. It's all so new to me.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized than you by the event.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. Surviving it again gave me strength. You believe that?
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see? Since then, Oswald's not keen on being inside for too long.
Я его всего
Goodbye.
открыл, так сказать. А? Загрузка? Да не молчу, я читаю как раз. Я не пойму, что значит
Good evening.
после старого.
Dr. Reed.
Newton is conflicted about his feelings towards you. Would you like to talk about it, Oswald?
It makes me sad and angry. It feels like the beautiful thing we have is somehow tainted. It hurts to see him so lost.
His love for you is genuine. I'm certain he wasn't lying to me when he expressed his feelings for you.
Newton still has to accept it, knowing he'll be seen as a queer, a fairy, less than a man in those simple-minded bigots' eyes. Though he's more of a man than they'll ever be, so fuck them all.
Я такой не проходил что-то.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
Да, тут не только врач-гематолог, не только вампир, но и психолог. А почему бы и не да? Туда уже ушел. Да что я между вами мечусь, а?
Hello again.
Good evening.
А, я его тоже все открыл. Ну и все.
Goodbye.
Стойте пока здесь, никуда не уходите. Я хочу пойти. Я хочу пойти в порт. И в доки потом. Вот еще в этот раз я поставлю метку, что вот это сюда хочу. Там и тоже есть люди, которым нужна помощь. Да, значит надо бить. Ну, я вообще, ну, в порт, и через него в доке. Ну и ладно. Там тупик. Тут закрыто. Там же есть больные. Там тут везде есть больные. Опа. Опа, 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 опа. Запутаны тут районы местами, конечно. Ну вот такой я гуляка. Вот, надо просто бить, я понял, не кусать, укус не прокатывает. Тоже неплохо, меня устраивает. Будем их бить из скрытности. Я теперь ассасин. Напугать вас, чтобы стало страшно? О, вы такие, ну, хана вам просто. Вот, да, кстати, с прыжками у меня проблема. Большая проблема. Блин, я что-то... Все нормально слышно? Вы бы сказали, что я слишком громко ору или не слишком громко ору? Говорю... Так что да, все. Расслабляемся и играем. Я же так понимаю, тут-то можно как-то будет переместить. Да, укус в бою прям это. Прям. Не, Римы, расслабляемся. Расслабляйтесь, расслабляйтесь. Мне бы еще эти, так сказать, запчасти, чтобы прокачать. Опа. А ты это чей? Мальчик. Мне надо тут тоже у вас порядки навести. В районе
Good evening,
все-таки.
sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Чё? Щегол, ты чё?
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Угу. Ну ладно.
Goodbye, Mr.
Так, оставим метку пока. Мы будем запоминать, что здесь у нас. Хорошо. Не потеряем. А если что, выследим, как вампур. Вижу, что-то блестит. Это куда ведет? Не помню, что поблескивало. А ну иди сюда. Как же вы орать задостали меня? Правда топорик прокачать? Мне кажется, это в руках будет выглядеть как-то более естественно. Что ли? Нормально. Ну, тоже логично. Не знаю, мне их крики почему-то тут не нравятся. Я прям уж такой, уф. Злюсь я. А, я тут бывал вроде же. Или мне кажется. Ой, как я рад, что я прокачался. Съел того чувака. Ну и хорошо, мне как раз надо там с людьми поговорить, полечить. Кстати, ты прав, тут вроде и босса, и это первого убивал. Ну да, тут первого босса убивали. Вот там что-то есть, я вижу. Сундук блестит какой-то.
I cannot enter.
Зачем ты меня ударил, а? Почему я к тебе забраться не могу?
I'd head back if I were you, sir. Stop right
Ну,
now!
качаю, насколько могу.
Over there! Over there! There's one of them burning!
Как к тому забраться? Негодяю. так-то лучше. «50 уровень, ну, я не так уж далеко.
See them roads? This one's a top.
Какой запутанный район. Ну, конечно, пошел.
It's locked, all right.
Угу. Как я... Что-то я упускаю, да? В эти-то мне кажется, что я решил просто погулять по ночному Лондону.
It's locked.
Это как-то странно. Я тут лекарства несу, все дела. Они. Получается, мне сюда еще нельзя? Ну, обидно как-то, знаете ли. Что в этом районе такого прям особенного. Ну, пойдем хотя бы там в порту пообщаемся с людьми, там кого-то полечим, что-нибудь сделаем, узнаем. Знаем. Видишь, что-то не нашел вроде как. Нормально прошел себя.
Someone's playing a right strange game. Now I'm gonna have to find out.
О, даже на Кокса.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I ain't paying any bill left by Clay.
I'm not here to collect payment, miss.
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
Ну что, кстати, ты
Can I see
продаешь?
what-
As long as you have
И все. Тю ты.
Good evening.
Hello again.
Здорово.
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt. or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
Какая?
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Я помню, только продукт напомнил.
Ooh, Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
Behind all your crude words and your attitude, I sense romance and a soft heart, Miss Cox.
Romance? I have no time for such rubbish. I use Booth like I use everyone else.
Да что ж я творю, а?
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the Wet Boot Boys, Doctor. This is our territory and this is our law.
Больше власти? Ты про что?
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Ну, меньше опыта. Оно будет хотя бы 3 с чем-то. Тоже неплохо.
Goodbye.
Так, и дайте я сейчас на парочку минут буквально отлучусь и вернусь к вам. Сразу. Так, я здесь. Я здесь. Да, я видел, что мне написали, я как раз и отвечал. Как раз этим и занялся.
You again. What do you want?
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really, one of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Ну, не понял.
I think you're wrong. Maybe the docks have always been violent, but you can't say the living don't suffer because of it.
And then what? Let the commies and the anarchists rule? Nah. We're the wet boot boys. Our fathers died on these docks and they belong to us.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Ну, тут же должен быть еще. Кроме них двоих, я думаю, будут люди. О.
Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Don't you recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young, like everybody else.
Sure. I wanted things to change. To really change. And to change for good. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believed that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
Ничего, я до туда дойду еще.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night. And then I drink some more.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. A bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire. broken window of the shoe shop. The torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it. And now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the... Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
Да, видел. А ну это мы им обсуждали.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes, I feel sicker than usual these days.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Ой, да я честно вот так зашел.
Good
Вот так-
evening, Mr. Delaney.
Ой, пролетом.
Goodbye.
Извиняюсь. Некрасиво, не спорю. Ничего не будет. Будет.
I hope I live long enough to see them wet boots.
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me, then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Давайте до 2 часов еще часик хотя бы, получается.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
Не, получается до 11:40 где-то.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Or something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Ну, странно, да, что задания такие дают доктору, ну, просьбы точнее. Это реально странно.
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
А сейчас она дружелюбней. Хорошо, окей. Хорошо тебе поиграть. И добыть больше власти.
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
Угу.
If you're uncertain about your safety here, the docks might not be the right place for you.
I got responsibilities. And it's not like I got the money to move anywhere else anyway.
Да, я думаю, я это увижу, сам зайду.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Не прощаюсь.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
Окей, позову.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Goodbye, Miss. Welcome. Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
А, вот в этом я уже участвую. Я купончик, да, использовал. Я заметил, сайт для отметок изменился. Что, я ничего больше не узнаю? Пока что. Ну, спасибо.
Goodbye, Miss.
Помогаете мне тут. Тебе тоже удачи. О, бабушка там. О, еще человек.
Hello, boy.
Пока вы там, другие, надо посмотреть.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Чего они его сторонятся? О, анемия. У меня как раз есть лекарство для него.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Ну, я пока сам, если что, я тебе там напишу, или, ну, в воскресенье там на стриме.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Ну что, 2 числа?
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
А, 2. Понял.
You should be careful, Rufus. There are things that lurk in the shadows of this city. Things that prey on the lonely and the desperate.
I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Do you
Понял.
need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
То я тебя буду лечить.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ну, я рад, что
So long, Rufus.
смог тебя полечить. Крепись, парень.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in? Please don't stay too long, sir.
It's locked.
Упс. У нас какой первый Ведьмак, можно было спокойно все собирать, да или во всех вроде частях.
Can't remember the last time.
Ничего интересного не будет. Весьма там. Ну уютненько, уютненько. Минималистично, но уютно.
So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
Что я никого не видел.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Почему ник такой синий? Депрессидер. Привет, привет.
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Ну, дело хорошо. А у вас?
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Пока нормально. Кусь... Я только одного пока, так скажем, кусь сделал.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no. My Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Добрая женщина. Ну, пока это все, что я знаю.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne.
Спасибо
Take
большое.
care of yourself.
Ну, это я, кстати, подстригся относительно недавно, в начале сентября. Обычно он у меня
Just
длиннее.
grow eyes on the back of that head, sir. Gentlemen are easy targets in these parts.
Так, ну у меня еще были новые расследования. Так что давайте. Обновление вас. О, тут еще столько людей. А где они все прячутся? То просто беру и отращиваю, она сама растет. Ничего не делаю. Ну ладно. Могильщиков найти не хочу. Где взорвалась бомба? Мне интересно место найти. О, это даже там. Слишком мощно. Джин? О, Джин здесь. О, спасибо за подписку. Что за метка? Опять ставлю случайно метку. Это, конечно, сделали не очень. Еще сюда сходить надо, не забыть будет перед сюжетом. А вот я и в доки попал. Чуть. А, да я тут не был. По сути. Это только закрыто еще. Вот и опять метка откуда, а? Метка, не ставься, все, метка, уходи. Ну вот, я просто игры прохожу. Так что вот даже добрался наконец до вампира. Спустя столько времени. Наверное, где-то здесь. Ну да.
Tom has so much alcohol, he could keep this district afloat for quite some time.
Что, никто нападать не будет, интересно? Мне вампир нравится прям. Джин себе и солгать тому. Не, ну я честный. Так что ему дадим. Я думаю, все-таки. Да вот мне тоже пока вот я прям заигрываюсь давно. Это хороший признак, я бывает. Не так долго могу сидеть. В играх может надоесть, или там переключиться надо, а тут вот прям Нравится.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't
Да он уже был
empty.
после,
It
что
was
его зачистил до
inhabited
этого.
with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewen guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom. Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
I apologize, Doctor, but it's just that I prefer to avoid the law, its enforcers, and all manner of thugs in uniform.
Ай, ладно, нет, все-таки дам. Пожалею, нет. Хотя, сделаем так. Что у него? И законом, ты там улюбишь. Уильям Бишоп. Тоже всех их запомни еще. Не, я отдам.
Here is your booze. I hope it will appease your customers. Just try not to kill anyone with this poison of yours.
Believe me, Doctor, most of my customers are less agreeable when sober.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Perhaps I should shut the turquoise for a time.
Так. Еще опыта есть, уже хорошо. Ой. Надо уже за очками, надо за очками идти, а. Надо заказать себе очки. Давайте магичков. Звучит, по крайней мере, интересно. Ну да, я так и думал, что они там будут. У тебя я знаю. Опа. Страница вырвана из дневника. Я ненавижу себя за то, что отворачиваюсь, когда они смеются над моим цветом кожи. Я ненавижу себя за то, что плачу, как девчонка, когда меня оскорбляют. Я ненавижу себя за то, что ругаюсь, как мальчик, когда они уходят. Я ненавижу себя за то, что ненавижу родителей. Я ненавижу себя за то, что улыбаюсь, когда клиенты называют меня печальной Бриной. Я ненавижу себя за то, что мне не хватает смелости рассказать Тому о своих чувствах. 3,60. Нет, не знаю. У меня 10,60. 3,60 я еще. Ну, не заработал, скажем так. А ну-ка, 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 давай. Это точно ты, я и так догадался.
Sabrina, tell me about your true feelings for your boss.
I love Tom. Not ashamed of it. Don't care if the customers joke about it neither.
Who's mocking you?
I mean, we're always together. People will talk, won't they?
Does Tom love you?
Yeah, but he's always reluctant to take it further. It's not because I'm younger, or because of the colour of my skin. He hates jokes about us.
Какой-то он...
Goodbye,
Ну ладно. Ну чё? Мужик такой, все, чё? Учат.
Welcome back, Doctor.
Sabrina seems very fond of you, Tom.
I like her too. I really do. I know I'm her boss, and I'm much older and all. But I like her for sure.
What is bothering you then?
Sabrina is an angry one. She wears it like a coat. I'm not sure I can make her shed that anger. It hurts to see her like that.
Ну что-то... При мне она спокойна.
Goodbye, Mr.
Ну да ладно. Да я, может, поставил коту на корм, но у меня нету кота. Могу максимум детям на мороженое просить. Да, ну только тогда я буду детям мороженое покупать. Я же говорю. Честный дурак. Хочу под мостом пройтись. А, нет, и тут как раз дальше переход будет. Тогда сейчас поговорим с тем парнем. Странным парнем, который здесь ходит. У которого есть... О. это крысы, ты. Кто сундук нашел? Я просто не знал, честно, что написать там. Меня просто в свое время попросили добавить донаты, вот сделал. Ну да, подумаешь, что другое написать в следующий раз. Но я обычно раз в год меняю. Раз в год, да, вот такая традиция.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
Угу, простуда. Ну, я тебя полечу. Надо район улучшать.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
Nope. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. That's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life.
А, я понял. Это
Even
сын
though I don't treat her so good.
старухи.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Do you require medical assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in fact.
I don't know which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with, but it's a doctor's purpose to heal people.
And is it your purpose as well, Mr. Reed? I would say it's a convenient way for gaining people's trust.
Goodbye,
Вот такое.
Mr. Fishburne.
Выздоравливай. Да, я помню тут сундук, да, который
It's locked, all
заперт.
right.
О. Ожерелье нашел.
From Seymour to my beloved Mother Stella. Fishburne, that sneaky bastard.
Маньяк. Да откуда метка появляется? Так он негодяй получается, что ли?
Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
I have retrieved the gift for your mother, sir.
Great. Give it here then and take this for your trouble.
I also found the corpses. The ones under which you left the necklace, Mr. Fishburne.
Ah, so that's where I left it. I can be a bit stupid sometimes.
As a man of science, I'd like to try to understand why you killed those people.
Why does there need to be a reason? They were just there. It happened. That's all.
You're not a mindless animal, Seymour. Surely you have something to say about these murders. Speak up and I will listen without judgment.
Could be right, Dr. Reed. Maybe it'll do some good to confide in a gentleman like you. You being educated and all.
Внезапно, а? Убийца. Вот такого не знаю, надо по-хорошему грохнуть. Как по мне. Надо еще ему про него знать.
Tell me about your victims, Seymour. Who were they? Why them? Was there a link?
Why should there be? They just kept getting on my nerves at the worst times. That's all.
How many? How many victims?
It's not like I keep records. It happens when it happens.
You feel nothing, do you? No empathy for your victims at all?
You seem pretty calm yourself, don't you?
We're not talking about me.
That right? Well, Our calm's the only thing we have in common then.
Did you take pleasure in killing them, Seymour? All those people, all those lives extinguished.
I take no pleasure from it. Just gives me peace. Stills the anger. For a time.
This rage you feel, have you ever been able to control it? Resist it?
I tried. For my mum. I tried for her. Telling the truth made me feel better. For a while.
Don't you think you should seek help? Talk to someone you trust, someone who cares about you.
No. And don't dare speak about me to your colleagues either. Keep your mouth shut tight. Especially about my mum.
Ты мне угрожаешь?
Why is your mother protecting you, Seymour?
I'm her son. She's the only one who knows me. Sometimes I think she knows me better than I know myself.
I understand you love her, but can't you see the awful situation you've put her in?
Do you think my mum would have a better life if I were dead? She seems so sad to know me sometimes.
I understand your mother's situation. Obtaining justice at the price of betraying her own flesh. It's quite a dilemma.
It might be my mum's wish that I end up swinging from a hangman's noose. But she wouldn't want to be the one who ties a knot round my neck.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Мне кажется, он опасен. По-хорошему, правда, убрать, наверное, тоже. Не знаю. Просто, ну, убийца тут. В доках прям. Гули-копатели. Квест называется. Неплохо. Так, как на ту сторону? Там же было вроде телепортация или что-то. Ну вот можно через мост. Хотя раз я уже здесь, можно тут разведать. Ой-ой-ой. Потренируемся чуть-чуть, да?
This is Braille. I need someone who can read this.
О, нашел второй из 4. Неплохо, неплохо, неплохо. Что-то там не отваливался? Нет. О, кому-то нужна помощь. Отдаляюсь. Бежим спасать. Ой, привет, привет. Привет, привет. Ох, ты ж заорал такой, а? Все дела хорошо. Отлично. У тебя как?
lazy bastard!
Я рад слышать.
Are you all right, sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but are you really after these men? Why?
They took my boy! I've had no news since he joined that crazy gang. So I decided to come and find him myself, to get some answers.
I see. But as I said, your life is at risk if you stay here. And I'm not referring to the gangs either. You should leave, sir.
Well, this part of town used to be nicer, let's say. Perhaps you're right. This isn't the best way to save Andrew.
Да. Хорошо, отдохнешь, выспишься. Спасибо за лайк. Окровавленное письмо. Милая мама, что бы ни случилось со мной, помни, что я тебя люблю. Я знаю, ты не всегда одобряла мои поступки, но меняться я не собираюсь. Я родился и вырос в этой части города, и мне не нравится то, что происходит с родным кварталом и со знакомыми людьми. Недавно я сделал важный выбор. Я решил начать борьбу с тиранией. Эти сатрапы точно будут мне мстить, но я готов ко всему. Благодаря тебе я всегда любил читать, и теперь, когда я собираюсь перейти к действиям, то могу лишь процитировать Этьена Деля Буэсси. Они кажутся нам высокими лишь потому, что мы стоим на коленях. Мама, я больше не хочу стоять на коленях. Я собираюсь встать во весь рост любой ценой. До свидания, любимая матушка. Джек.
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
Думаю, стоит отнести. Будем хорошим вампиром. Как он духнул. Внезапно. А куда миссия делась? О, метка, наверное, ставится, когда я там случайно на карте что-то нажимаю. Человека спасли. Некоторых полечили, что есть хорошо. А через низ или через верх, я уже не помню. Но тут есть что оживиться. Ага. Я просто кружочек сделал, не больше. Значит, наверх. Что-то я думаю, все-таки топорик бы я улучшил. Может быть, с топором повоевал. Было прикольно, конечно. но не прям круто. Да, не зря сюда пришел. Пополню свой инвентарь. Вот, собственно, и... Тё-то, ребят, да что вы, а? Честно. Это ладно, это... Они совсем, скажем так, юны. Ну что поделать, ребят, такова жизнь. Такова жизнь. Вот это была закрыта, я помню. Блин, я хотел одного покушать, ну да ладно. Стоп, а тут убежище у меня не помечено. Я что, в нем не... Ну я в нем был же.
It's locked.
We have to stop it!
И так пойдет. Я думал, тут будут, в итоге будут высокоуровневые ребята. Но нет. А что с компом? Новый соберешь? Да, ладно, наверх. Ой,
This place.
Это хорошо, поздравляю.
Washed away the blood, but not the memory. My poor Mary.
Да. Жуткое зрелище на самом деле такое. Записка с предупреждением. Привет, парни. Вы жалуетесь, что вам поручили грабить мертвецов в Саутуарке. Говорю первый и последний раз. Хватит ныть. Радуйтесь, что я не передал ваше послание Эдвине. За него она бы вам яйца отрезала. Кроме того, одна птичка мне напела, что вы надо мной потешаетесь. Насчет того, что я видел у пирса. Значит, я просто псих, который своей тени боится. Или сумасшедший, который боится призраков, словно старуха. Отлично. Мне нравится, когда мои парни счастливы. Будьте уверены, этот псих придет помочиться на ваши окровавленные трупы. После такого, как монстр, которого я видел, сожжет ваши мозги. Наслаждайтесь погодой. Говорят, будет туман и дождь. Будь.
This is my watch. Damn grave robbers.
Да я сообщу, пусть боится. Это мы решили задание. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой, написано, где взорвалась бомба, место. У меня цветов же нету еще. Показалось? Нет, не показалось. Оу. Покореженный фонарь. Я еще помню, не говорил. Вот фонарь вообще не покореженный.
Filthy piece of shit!
И где же взорвалась бомба? О, Хантер, привет-привет. Да, как обычно. Пока что вам бурим. Спасибо большое. Спасибо большое за лайк. Че бомба могла взорваться? Да тут прям это... Клондайк, а?
It's locked, all right.
Прям весьма неплохо, а? Скажу я вам. Это сейчас будет вообще где, откуда я начинал. Но факс? Не слышал, не припомню такого. И где же бомба могла взорваться? По улицам, мне кажется, логично ходить. Магазин с обувью. Задача, конечно. Магазин обувью, с обувью, но магазин, то есть витрина. И покореженный фонарь.
It's locked, all right.
Вот такой я, да. Я, получается, сам стримлю. Других, так, если так чуть-чуть посмотрю. И то вот смотришь, ну тоже потом хочется поиграть, сам пройти, так что спойлерить себе тоже не хочется, и прекращаешь.
Yes. The place has changed since the explosion, but it was definitely here. I should find some way to pay my respects.
Угу. Где я цветы найду? Не знаю, я честно скажу по себе, я бы не рисковал, наверное. А. Букет. Что надо, блин, я не знаю, загуглить что ли уже, или... О, может, кстати, ты знаешь, где пресидер. Где воды взять для цветок в комнате в больнице?
May all who suffered from this tragedy find or rest in peace.
Все. Я молодец. 2 квеста сделал. А, не выполнял побочки? О, я любитель всего этого дела. Еще побочки, это наше все. Особенно если ты кусь не делаешь, то побочки тем более нужны. Да, у меня прям этого добра сейчас навалом. Не, я и так наелся, зачем мне крыс есть? И так нормальный рацион. Что, пойдем квесты завершать. Во-первых, скажем про магичков, честно.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
Tell me your feelings about Booth's belief in monsters, Edwina.
It makes him look weak in front of the boys. That's my feeling about it. But ghosts don't scare me.
You don't believe he really saw something then?
I don't care what he saw or not. All I know is that a real man keeps his fears to himself if he wants to be obeyed.
Ну, неплохо.
I managed to reach the mass grave in Southwark. It was not pleasant.
Spare me the details, Dr. Reed. All I want to know is what happened to those bastards who owed me money.
I'm afraid those bastards, as you call them, are in the mass grave.
Dead? Shit. That money would have been useful. Well, I'll tell my boys to avoid the place if it's that dangerous.
Yes. Everybody should avoid that place until further notice.
Okay then, Doctor. It looks like you deserve your reward after all. The Wet Boot boys thank you for your help.
Ну ничего себе.
Can I see?
As long as you have...
Да мне синий уже там надо всякие покупать вещи. Про него я по-любому что-то новое узнал.
Perhaps we should have listened to what the idiot had to say first. You again. What do you want?
I know you believe monsters are real, Booth.
They are. I know, I saw one, but no one believes me.
Tell me what you saw.
It was a few years ago. Clay Cox was still the boss then. He'd sent me to the shipyard to find out who was stealing tools and ropes at night.
Go on.
First I thought it was an old lady with a limp. It looked frail and crooked. Then I saw it grab a bloody beam and lift it like it was a stick. I shouted. It looked straight at me.
Do you know what it was?
It was all eyes and long teeth, but I couldn't see its face. I shot at it when it moved towards me and I hit it. And then it jumped and vanished in the shadows.
You could have imagined all that. These docks can be so gloomy at night. With the fog and the wind and the boats creaking.
No, Doctor. That night I saw the fucking sewer dock for real. It's not a beast like the stories say. It's the ghost of an old woman. Bullets can't stop it. But no one believes me.
Are your friends mocking you?
Even Edwina told me once to never speak about it, but I know what I saw. And it wasn't human. Not human at all.
И где вода для цветка? Мне вот интересно.
Goodbye.
Их постоянный клиент. А вот. Ничего себе забрел. Я тебя далеко?
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What?
В центре
you're
слева.
that doctor.
I found the location of the explosion, Mr. Delaney. I placed a flower for you where it happened. Just as you asked.
Really? That's so kind. I never thought someone would... Well, thank you, Doctor.
It's nothing, really. And I'm sorry for your loss.
What? No, I didn't know them. No car was supposed to park there that day. Stupid bastard, why did he park there?
You're the man who hid that bomb.
I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
Ну так и думал, что его еще.
I want you to remember the bomb, Dyson. Tell me about it.
No, I don't want to remember it.
Why use a bomb? What were you trying to destroy?
The Dawson & Dawson ammunitions factory. A symbol of violence against the people. My group wanted to destroy it to send a message.
The victims. They were not the target then.
I spent so much time figuring out the perfect moment. I used a short fuse. No car had ever parked there. They all died.
I sense your guilt, Dyson. Why is that? Did you not think violence was an acceptable political tool?
I still believe our fight was just. By killing an innocent couple who were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. No way.
You made a mistake. A terrible mistake. Maybe an unforgivable one. But that does not mean that you are a monster.
I swear I did not want to kill anyone. I did not hide in the shadow to kill on purpose. That's my only defense.
Да что ж такое? Вот как всегда хотел как лучше.
Surely.
Sure.
Что Что-то я теперь не узнаю.
Goodbye.
Ну и ладно. В центре. Здесь, что ли? Вест-Энд. А, в Вест-Энде. Здесь. Здесь. И здесь. Много круглых точек. Наверное, здесь. Запомнил, около убежища, хорошо. Еще с дружкой хотел поговорить. Что-то здесь рядом, я помню.
Good evening, Miss.
Of course. Just grow eyes in the back of that head, sir. What can I do for you?
Кажется, многое смогу узнать, да?
Your son's gone way beyond simply bullying people. He has a taste for blood, and you know it, don't you, Stella?
One night, he told me straight up, in his own words. It was several days after one of his episodes.
Why did he confess? Did you suspect something?
No. I guess he wanted his old mum to help him fight his, demons.
Did Seymour tell you everything that night?
More than I could stand. The words he used to describe his hate, his rage, how he feels when he's done it.
Да, кстати, ты прав, время сейчас надо будет потихоньку закругляться.
Stella, I know you are ashamed of your son's crimes. So why do you protect Seymour?
I can't report my own son, can I? Not a burden I could bear.
Burden? How do you mean?
They'd hang him for sure. I won't send my only son to his death.
Нужно это правда прекратить.
The situation will only get worse. Someone has to stop Seymour.
If someone ever found the courage to speak to the police, I will take my share.
Tell me about these demons Seymour needs your help to fight.
Seymour used to be such a happy child, and he is still a helping son most of the time. But when he gets angry, he can hardly contain his rage.
All men and women are born innocent, Mrs. Fishburne. But there can be a monster within any of us.
Do you think he can be cured, Doctor? Do you think something can extinguish this rage inside my Seymour?
There is no cure for murder, Mrs. Fishburne. Only justice.
There ain't no hope then. Somehow, somewhere, my son has turned into a monster, and nothing will bring him back.
К сожалению, да.
Goodbye, Miss.
А, ну туда пока закрыто же. Тут я сделал. И... Ну да, радует, что его нет больше. Надо бежать. Что-то могу сказать? Ласково.
Good evening.
Yeah, yeah.
Не могу.
Goodbye, Mr.
Pleasure, sir. Been a while since we've seen any news.
Что я надо ж метку поставить сразу.
Perhaps we should have listened to what the idiot had to say first.
Ну, такие мне игры тоже нравятся, что вот небольшие, скажем, лаконичные.
I cannot enter.
Карты запутанные, конечно. Ну, улочки запутанные. Ну да, с другой стороны, было бы все прям так уж прямо, было бы уже не так интересно, конечно.
Steady, boys. We've got one over here.
Страшно, да? Арбалетчик, да? Съедим тебя. Ресурсы мне нужны. Ресурсы мне нужны, ресурсы мне важны. Да вы издеваетесь. И как я могу обойти? Решил сходить за водой, а? Сегодня день это фарма вампиры. Показалось? Да ладно. Нет, не показалось. Стоп, а как я сюда тогда забрел? О, блин. Люблю такие моменты. Оу, неплохо. Как я в эти доки залезть смог? Сопроводительное письмо. Привет, Фрэнк. Как ты, старый друг? Я так рад будет повидаться с тобой на прошлой неделе. В следующий раз угощаю я. Надеюсь, в твоей части города все в порядке. А здесь, в твоем родном квартале, ситуация ухудшается. Клей с каждым днем становится все агрессивнее. Он думает только о новых захватах. Даже при том, что кое-кто из новых игроков преследует на нашу территорию. Претендую. Боюсь, что мокрые ботинки здорово влипли. Я тут подумал над твоими словами, что ты не жалеешь об уходе из банды. Единственное, о чем жалеешь, так только о том, что больше никогда не появишься в Ист-Энде. Ведь там тебя ждет хорошая озвучка или еще что-то похуже. Но если решишь все-таки заглянуть сюда, я гарантирую тебе защиту. Может, снова поговорим о новых возможностях, о работе. Ты же знаешь, что я всегда ловко обращался с числами, и если твоей компании нужен бухгалтер, давай это обсудим, ладно? Передавай Жене привет. От меня. Мокрые ботинки навсегда, старина. Будь Дигби. Что да, говорил, что локация небольшая-то по сути. Но я заблудился. А, вот, откуда я пришел. Все. Разбудился. Бегу, 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 бегу. Начал... А, пятый. Стабильно. А быстренько-то не получится. На карте это все выглядит напрямик. На самом деле в обход. Кстати, раз такое дело. Ну да, тут у меня все плохо. Топорик улучшать. То 16. Да, я бы попробовал с ней походить. О, он суровый.
It's locked, all right.
Как я туда обходил тогда? Через эту аж. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Что ж такое? Блин, хочу воды, а потом уже еще захочу в больницу вернуться это полить. Да, только вот дойти до суда, а потом уже в Остенд идти. Состояние района тяжелое. А вот это плохо. Надо что-то предпринять. Надо что-то предпринять. А, я тут, получается, ходил, зачистил, да, тут я еще... Все хорошо. Да уж. Нехорошо получилось, что я скажу. Кто бы мог подумать, что все так обернется. Ты не болеешь, это хорошо.
Good evening. Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I heard that she used to help the refugees, but unfortunately you don't see her around anymore.
What are you doing with your time now that you're back in Whitechapel?
I've decided to help the poor and sick of the neighborhood by handing out medicine.
That's very charitable of you. But why do it at night?
I've noticed that the most desperate people tend to go out after dark. Hence my presence, to help them when I can.
Giving out medicine? How can you afford to do that?
I am a rich widow, Dr. Reed. My departed husband left me enough money to last the rest of my life. I can spend some on those who don't have any.
Благородно.
Why don't you move to a better neighborhood?
I thought about it, I confess. To go back to the same empty home every day still hurts me a lot.
Why stay here then?
I am a woman of habit, Dr. Reed. And for now, I am happier being useful in a familiar place than I would be anywhere else.
How do you feel now that you're back in Whitechapel?
I've decided to follow your advice, sir. I won't forget the dead, but my efforts will be for the living.
Try not to lose yourself in the process. I've seen patients deny their own pain by focusing on the pain of others.
To be completely honest with you, I'm also doing this for myself. If I'm destined to survive this epidemic, I need my life to have some purpose.
Do you still think about your departed husband?
Of course I do. I'll never forget my beloved Matthew, but how do I put it? Now I miss him more than I want him back.
I know what you mean. And I think it means you're getting better.
Maybe death will take me the way it took Matthew. Without warning and without mercy. But until then, I live on.
Goodbye.
Кольцо. Опа.
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor. Now leave me alone.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost
Он говорил.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane. How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu?
Everything was going well until you arrived. Dorothea helped people and will be sorely missed.
Maybe you should consider the bigger picture. We may not have the same approach, but my priority is the safety of London's citizens.
So you put an end to the operation. Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. Then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
Ой-ой-ой.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
Понял, не лезу.
Goodbye, Mr.
А что там? Надо проверить. Она не стала ли вампиром сама? Эконом. Хотя нет, Скай. Я ж ее не кусал. Микрин, как же я хочу его полечить? Скайль. Двадцать четвертый. Что, рискнем? За водой на следующем стриме пойдем. Наверное, лучше пилу верну. Урон не сильно отличается, но... Как же она страшно кряхтит. Я здоров, хилки есть. Что ж она так это... Оу. Это был мини-босс, получается, да? Ну а что мы с ней еще могли сделать? Оу. 2 средства от головной боли. Талон на медосмотр. Сундук хоть получил, да, получается? Ну, хоть так. Хоть так. Головной боли, это же как раз оно, нет? Что мне нужно? Так, ребят. И район как раз приведем в порядок.
Good evening.
Нет, это отмерение.
Have you any news of Nurse Crane?
Not recently.
A gun?
Да. О, вот ему я от головной боли смогу помочь.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many.
Надо открыть, может, с той стороны дверь, тогда уже дойти. Чтобы я смог быстро туда-сюда ходить. Не в обход, вот это все. А как я туда в свое время попал?
It's locked, all right.
Через воду как-то, не знаю, или нет, воды-то нет. Теперь, если честно, вообще не понимаю, как я туда мог попасть. Ладно, пойдем вниз, будем потом разбираться уже. Просто, ну как я еще мог тут вот или... Тут закрыто же. Ну или сейчас проверим, конечно. Тоже закрыто.
It's locked.
Состояние тяжелое, вот это плохо. Может быть. Но я уже в больницу, отдам лекарства и пойду отдыхать уже в следующий раз. Займемся этими делами. Вариант такой, что вариантов нет. Вот с Доротеей, конечно, получилось... Так, стоп. Крайне паршиво, я скажу. Просто теперь кошмар. Три ночи.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Не спать тогда лучше.
Do you need...
Don't get me wrong.
I'm certain you have your reasons. But let me assure you, I'm not like other doctors you may have consulted with.
It is true. You risked your life to save me, after all. It would be impolite to refuse your counsel.
Goodbye, Mr. Tan.
Ну, хоть так, хоть так.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
А рецепт все равно неизвестен. Будем заканчивать все-таки традиционно. Мне понравилось укус качать. Но, с другой стороны, мне тут нужно еще и стойкость. Качать. Все надо качать. Эти же есть все равно. Вот. Урон прям хорошо помогает. Исцеление. Чисто вот так повампирить. А это еще 2 уровня с 18-го. Хотя копье надо бы покачать, но он крови хочет. Ой, сейчас страшно, что же может случиться, а? Да вы издеваетесь. Переутомление, переутомление. Раз. Короче, куча лекарств от переутомления. О, неприятно, конечно, раз, да. 7 лекарств от переутомления. Ну, тут я сделал хорошо, да? Переутомление. Мне переутомление надо. Простуда. Невралгия. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Тут я пока не был, тут все хорошо. Штук. Сколько, подождите. Раз, два, три, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. Минимум 9 лекарств от переутомления мне надо сделать. Кошмар! Пусть десятка будет. Мне надо где-то рецепты достать. Я подумал, пусть будет. Эти штуки у меня. Жизнь и кровь восстанавливать. Да, в следующий раз будет чем заняться. Что, да, будем заканчивать, ребята, уже все-таки поздно. Да. Так что да. Что случилось? Ну вот то, что там глава района умерла, стала вампиром, вурдалаком, скажем так, я ее убил. При этом плоховато, и надо еще много людей заболело, надо их будет лечить. Как-то так. Ну а теперь будем заканчивать. Спасибо вам, ребят, за компанию, за ваши лайки, просмотры, подписки, да, за вашу поддержку. Ну а с вами был я, Fingolt. Вампир. Всем удачи и пока. Ой, Лука, что же кошмар. Сделаем все. Думаю, все сделаем в свое время.